Greetings, everyone. Well, carrying on with the Blu-ray updates today. Actually, not just Blu-rays, but also some comic books. Yes, I have my good friend Razman from the Razman's Reality to thank for this one. Those of you who check out Razman's radio show will know that I, of course, guested on it a few weeks back. And this kind of stemmed out of our conversation. There was something in particular that he was talking about quite a bit, and he's mentioned it to me on a few occasions, that he's a big fan of a particular comic book superhero and just, world within the DC universe that he really enjoys. And he's been trying to sell me on it for a very long time, and thought, that it was something that I would really enjoy. And I didn't really know much about this character before, other than his many appearances on the Super Friends back in the day. So I really had no idea that it had been revamped and retooled and really made into something fantastic recently, like far more than I ever expected from what little I knew of the concept. What am I talking about? Let me give you a little hint. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Welcome back. Well, where to begin? Picked up a lot of Green Lantern stuff over the past little while, and I cannot possibly thank Raz enough for pushing me to check out this fantastic comic book franchise. There's a lot of really good stuff out there. So add it to the list of things I've just been missing out on all these years and can now enjoy marathoning while I get caught up. Now, first and foremost, of course, we have the Green Lantern live-action movie, and this is actually where I began. I just really wanted to check it out. I'd heard a lot of mixed reviews. I know a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people did. A lot of people are just kind of meh about it, but myself, I enjoyed it overall. I did watch the extended cut. I have not watched the theatrical cut and probably never will, but I enjoyed the extended cut just fine. Now, if I had any complaints about it, I kind of feel like they tried to do too much in one movie. Like they adapted a lot of different storylines from the comics. They adapted the Parallax storyline. They adapted, the story of Sinestro being a Green Lantern member who later, discovers the yellow element and basically goes bad. They had the story of Hector Hammond and all that on top of the origin of Green Lantern. I felt like some of the storylines just weren't getting enough time. I know one of the big complaints a lot of people had about it was that we don't get to spend a lot of time with the Green Lantern Corps and actually get to know a lot of those other characters better. I know a lot of people wanted to see more of Tomar Ray. Would have been nice to see some more training with Kilowog, and stuff like that. And some more stuff with Sinestro would have been great to have more development with the relationship between Hal and Sinestro. Because in the comics, my understanding, at least the revamped comics, Sinestro is kind of Hal's mentor for a while before he goes bad and stuff like that. So, it would have been nice to see more of that. I feel like maybe if they just left out the story of Hector Hammond and focused more on the Parallax storyline and the Green Lantern Corps stuff, that it would have been a lot better. That was my only real complaint about it, was I felt that they just tried to do way too much. It would have been better to kind of split those different stories into multiple movies. But overall, I thought it was a good first shot. I mean, this is the first time we've really seen Green Lantern done properly in live action. The only time I recall seeing him in live action before was in that god-awful late 70s TV special, Legend of the Superheroes, The Roast, and The Challenge, which was two hour-long specials, which I do have, and I have watched. Nice little piece of superhero history there. But, Green Lantern doesn't really do much in that, because, of course, it's late 70s, low-budget TV, filmed on video. It was pretty low rent. This one, of course, they have, CG up the yin-yang, and Yeah, some people complained about the CG Green Lantern suits and felt they should have been just actual physical costumes. Yeah, whatever. I thought they worked okay. Honestly, I thought a lot of the other Green Lantern Corps members were done really well. I know, again, some fans complained about how Kilowog looked in the movie and that he didn't quite look like he did in the comics and animated versions. But whatever. He was close enough. I really didn't have a big issue with that. But I mean, I'm coming in cold as someone who has not been a fan of these characters for years, so I'm really just becoming familiar with all of this for the first time. So overall, I enjoyed Green Lantern the movie. I thought Ryan Reynolds made a perfect Hal Jordan. Cocky, smarmy, smart alecky. That's Hal. From what I've seen, and yeah. So I don't know. Maybe if they do a sequel, we'll get to see a little bit more of the Corps in action, which would be nice. Because the one thing I'm really enjoying about Green Lantern, not just the movie but the other stuff, which I'll get into in a minute, is the sci-fi aspects of it. A lot of the stories in the comics don't even take place on Earth. I mean, a lot of it is very little to do with Earth. It's a lot of Hal Johnson and the Green Lantern Corps out there in space saving the universe, or dealing with threats off of Earth, or that happen to be in that sector of space, I guess, or whatever. But and I enjoy that because I enjoy seeing the different aliens and the different civilizations and such that they encounter in their travels. I think that's a lot of fun. So that brings us to some of the other Green Lantern adaptations. Before the movie, we actually got this. Green Lantern First Flight, which was the first of two DC Universe animated original movies. This is fantastic. If you're kind of shaky on the movie, get this. This is just a great freaking movie. I've actually watched it twice, and I just thought it was spectacular. See, now this one, like a lot of reviews I've seen from other fans say, like, why didn't they just take the story of First Flight and turn that into a live-action movie? Just expand on that a little bit. Because in First Flight we have the origin again, obviously, but in this one they get the origin out of the way literally in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the movie. It's like the opening titles haven't even started yet, and Hal's already Green Lantern and heading off to the Corps. So there's a little bit on Earth at the beginning, and then the rest of the movie is all in space. It's basically about Hal under the mentoring wing of Sinestro as they're trying to find out who killed Abin Sur. And there's another layer to the plot going on behind the scenes, like a conspiracy betrayal thing going on, and it just gets more and more epic and spectacular, and it is just fantastic. I thought it was a really well done movie, and I really enjoyed it a lot. That's one I'll be watching over and over again for sure. And then around the same time that I guess the movie was in theaters, we got a second DC Universe animated film. Sadly, not a direct sequel to First Flight. So if you watch the two back to back, you'll notice some conflicting continuity between them. But they're basically both just standalone things. Apparently, First Flight didn't do particularly well when it first came out, so they decided to just start fresh with the second one rather than doing it as a sequel. I'm of course talking about Green Lantern Emerald Knights. Now this one is structured a little bit differently. It does have a central storyline that runs throughout the course of the movie. It's a little bit longer than First Flight as well. This one runs about almost 90 minutes, whereas this one's about 77 or thereabouts. But Emerald Knights essentially is an anthology film, so you have a lot of individual stories about individual members of the Green Lantern Corps. You have all of which are adapted from original comic book stories. So those of you familiar with the comics over the years are in for a treat, I think, because they've adapted a lot of the big popular short stories from over the years. The first story, however, is the story of the First Lantern, and it talks about how the Green Lantern Corps was originally formed by the Guardians and who the First Lanterns were and what they were up against, not only as the first members of the Corps, but also like what kind of alien menaces they had to deal with, and just learning to use their rings kind of on the fly and stuff like that. And that's an original story that was done just for Emerald Knights, and it's a good one. It's a lot of fun. Also worthy of mentioning is Green Lantern Emerald Knights features the debut of Nathan Fillion as the voice of Hal Johnson, and from what I've heard, he will be the voice of Hal Johnson going forward, because everybody seemed to very much approve of that casting choice. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. I enjoyed it. Watched that with some friends the other night, and the reaction was kind of mixed. A lot of them preferred First Flight simply because it's one solid ongoing story, whereas Green Lantern Emerald Knights is kind of disjointed because it's a series of short stories loosely connected together with a central plot line that goes over the course of it. But whatever. I mean, I think it serves as a really good introduction to the Green Lantern Corps and the universe that it takes place in, and you get to know a lot of the notable characters in it that have appeared over the years. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so it definitely served as a great crash course for me in the lore. And in addition to that, the extras on all three of these are fantastic. And if you know nothing about Green Lantern, much as I did, just watch the extras. In particular, watch the ones that talk about the original comics. There's a great featurette on the movie disc that actually goes into the whole history of the comics from its early days in the 60s, like the original Silver Age Green Lantern, which is not the original Green Lantern. There was one prior to that in like the, I guess, 30s and 40s, thereabouts. But the Silver Age Lantern is the one that we know, with the green suit and everything. And it goes basically from that period in comic history forward, covers all the major plot lines, talks to a lot of the original creators, writers, and artists, and then finally ends off talking to Jeff Johns, who's the guy basically responsible for revamping it over the past few years and making it into the epic saga that it is, which is far bigger than Green Lantern has ever been before. So let's take a quick look at the special features here. The movie has a 2-disc set, which has the Blu-ray feature plus special features. Blu-ray includes the extended cut not seen in theaters, also includes the theatrical version. Has maximum movie mode on the theatrical version only, Green Lantern's Light, a feature-length expedition into Green Lantern, including picture-in-picture commentary, 8 featurettes, character bios, galleries, storyboards, and more. Okay, I guess I will watch the theatrical version, because obviously I want to see that. We also have The Universe According to Green Lantern, Justice League #1 digital comic, deleted scenes, and much more. Oh, goody, they included that more feature that I like. Yeah. I think The Universe According to Green Lantern is the history of the comic, if I remember correctly. So we take a quick look here. I'll just show you the inside and stuff. So we have this very nice, see if you can see it there. It's kind of shiny. You can see like concentric circles spreading out from the logo, which is kind of cool. It's very nice. I've seen an alternate version of this cover that actually has Hal Johnson without his mask. So that's kind of interesting. And just the features on the back. And then if we open her up, we've got basically the same cover, slightly different layout to the back, but otherwise the same. And then inside, we have a little insert for how to get your digital copy, a code, which I will not show you, it's on the back here, to get a special, I guess it's a Sinestro Corps. Yeah, you can get a Sinestro Corps suit for Batman in Arkham City for the PS3 version. That's pretty cool. And then finally here we have the 2 discs. Kind of disappointed they didn't color them green, but oh well. So we have the DVD version with the digital copy, and then we have, of course, the Blu-ray there. So very cool. The DVD is just the theatrical version. The only disc that has the extended cut is the Blu-ray. So the extended cut is exclusive to the, at least in this set, it's exclusive to the Blu-ray. I don't know if the extended cut is available on DVD on its own. Quite possibly, I don't know. There is also, of course, a 3D version of Green Lantern that you can get. I didn't feel like paying that much extra for it, especially since I don't plan to get a 3D TV anytime soon. So there we go. And then finally, next we have Green Lantern First Flight. Again, very nice slipcover. See if you can see. You can see the shiny beams coming off of the ring there. That's pretty snazzy. And then on the back, we got Hal there and Sinestro. Sorry, Sinestro doesn't look quite so dark in the show, but I don't know. I guess just the way it was printed. Here we go. So this one has over 4 hours of extras. Although that said, they're not all strictly related to the movie. Some of them are behind-the-scenes stuff about other DC animated movies. We have Behind the Story with Jeff Johns. The New York Times best-selling writer discusses the mythology of the Green Lantern. So there you get even more background information about the comics, which is great. A Blu-ray exclusive, a look at the symbolism of the ring in literary lore and as reimagined for Green Lantern. That's actually a really interesting featurette. I have watched some of the extras on these. That's a really interesting featurette that goes into the whole idea of talismans and magical objects and things throughout mythology, and how Green Lantern is kind of a modern interpretation of that classic mythological idea. And it's pretty cool. I enjoyed that one. Behind the scenes of Blackest Night, the epic DC Comics superhero event in which the dead rise. Yeah, I guess this came out shortly before the Blackest Night storyline came out. It has since run its course and is available in trade paperback editions. Eventually I'll get around to reading those. Excuse me. First thing I want to do is actually kind of start with the beginning of the Jeff Johns run, which revamped the series. Start with Rebirth and then work my way through, and then eventually get to Blackest Night. The thing about Blackest Night is it's a crossover event, and they've reprinted it as like 9 books, and they're not chronological either. They basically reprinted them by individual title that had issues relating to it. So you kind of have to jump between books if you want to read it all in order. It's kind of annoying. I don't know why they did it that way. Marvel's Civil War did the same thing, except in that case it was 23 volumes. Just put it all together in a couple of massive omnibuses. Come on. Then we got Green Lantern Corps character profiles of Sinestro and the Guardians of the Universe. Exclusive sneak peek of DC Universe's upcoming Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Duck Dodgers series episode, The Green Loonturn. Bruce Timm presents 5 bonus cartoons. And explore 3 other DC Universe animated movies. Yeah, the bonus cartoons are basically episodes of Justice League and I think Justice League Unlimited. So, pretty cool stuff. I notice all the DC Universe animated movies have at least a few episodes of the old Bruce Timm shows, which is great, especially if you've never seen them before. It gives you a nice little intro to them. So this one, Green Lantern Emerald Knights. Again, nice shiny cover. Again, you got sort of beams, in this case, coming off the lantern in the background there. It's very cool. Nice, slightly embossed cover as well. I don't think... Oh yeah, this one's a little bit embossed as well. Yeah, you can feel like the mask and the logo. The movie one is not embossed, but it's pretty and shiny. And there we go. So let's just slide this guy out here. And same cover there. And there. And then inside we actually have some interesting inserts. We have, of course, how to get your digital copy. And then we have an ad for several Green Lantern action figures that you can get. There's these ones, and there's what they call the Battle Shifters, which are, the Green Lantern Corps characters using various constructs, and some of them actually do have projectiles and stuff that you can shoot at your friends' faces. So here we actually have a DVD version. Yeah, this one here. This is the DVD version, and then this, of course, is the Blu-ray, and I believe the digital copy is on here as well. First Flight is just the digital copy and the Blu-ray for some reason. I guess it was a little bit before they started throwing in the DVD version as well. So there you go. Well, we've already been going for about 16 minutes. Yeah, what the hell, we'll do a couple more things. Okay, so let's move these over here. I should mention also, I noticed that 2 of the stories from Green Lantern Emerald Knights are actually included in the DC Universe stories of Alan Moore, which longtime viewer Joker Colors very graciously sent me a little while ago. You may recall that package opening. So there's quite a few, quite a lot of stories in here actually. It's quite a meaty collection. But specifically, the stories Mogo Doesn't Socialize and Tigers were both adapted for Emerald Knights. Mogo Doesn't Socialize is pretty much verbatim, straight out of the comic. It's just, the comic story brought to life. Tigers is a little bit different. It's a story about centering around Abin Sur, and it was altered slightly for Emerald Knights to, cover some other stories and whatnot. Anyway, another thing I wanted to pick up, let me just quickly run over here. You know what? We're already almost at 18 minutes. Let's call this the end of part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Alrighty. So until then, thanks for watching. Green Lantern, cool, good stuff. If you, as I say, I mean, if you are completely unfamiliar with Green Lantern, these three are a great place to start, and especially if you watch the extras, they'll give you a really good, solid foundation of knowledge upon which you can build as you explore the Green Lantern universe. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now. Got a little bit more Green Lantern stuff to talk about next time, but for that, you'll have to wait until next time. Alrighty. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And sayonara. Until next time. I don't actually have a Green Lantern t-shirt or anything, so yeah, sorry. Or a mask, or a ring, or anything. I'm pretty much a noob to the whole Green Lantern world.